Hello, everyone. Gonna do another tribute poem, tribute presentation, rather. We're doing more than a poem in this one. If you hear any background noise, again, it's because I live near Main Street, and there may be maybe trains passing by, so that may also happen. So, up until now, I've been doing female singers, and tonight we're gonna do a female actress, and um, Jenna Ortega happens to be my favorite female actress, and she also happens to be my biggest celebrity crush. So, like, out of everybody that I've made a tribute to so far, Jenna Ortega is by far the biggest celebrity crush that I have, for a number of different reasons. She just has the personality type that I'm very drawn to. So, and you're gonna see that in this poem that I wrote for her. So let's just go ahead and read the poem. So here it goes. This is a different format than I normally do, too. So I hope the repetition kind of emanates with you guys. So here we go. Wonderful Jen. Beautiful Jen. Captivating Jen. Endearing Jen. Super tough Jen. Motivated Jen. Dedicated Jen. Determined Jen. Wise Jen. Very intelligent Jen. Wrote her own book, Jen. Wise beyond her years, Jen. Action taker Jen, opportunity searcher Jen, sentimental Jen, non judgmental Jen, Wednesday Adams Jen, Scream 5 and 6 Jen, no Scream 7 Jen, good decision maker Jen, never gives up Jen, never lets herself drown Jen, never lets herself down Jen, creative Jen, now producer Jen, headed for the stars Jen. Will she reach them? Twist ending, she already has. So, a couple things to look at in this poem. These are just all comments: the wonderful, the beautiful, the captivating, endearing. That's just some of it is physical attraction, and some of it is, I think she's a really beautiful young girl, physically, and also because I really like her personality. Um, I kind of think she has just a no shit. Um, she's not going to take any shit. She's going to make sure things go right, and I find that endearing and captivating about her. Um, when we get to super tough Jen, that I put in there because in the first season of Wednesday, I keep remembering that scene where she beats up those three guys in the restaurant all by herself, and she's a young teenager, and she just beats the crap out of them. So super tough Jen, and I still think that holds in real life as part of her personality. I do believe she's super tough, and she plays that character so well in Wednesday. I'm sure that some of her real life personality went into that character. And I don't think that's a bad thing. It's good to be super tough. You can defend yourself, you can stand up for what's right, and it's good that she can bring that personality into that role. Motivated, dedicated, determined Jen. So now I go to the first season of Wednesday again, where she felt like some of the scenes and lines that Wednesday was doing were not really appropriate to her character, and she had to kind of improvise in a way and come up with her own lines or say what she felt was more appropriate. So that's motivated, dedicated, and determined Jen. She's determined and dedicated to do what feels right, even if it means going against what is scripted. And that's great that she has that. So now we come to wise Jen, very intelligent Jen, and wrote her book Jen. Wise beyond her years. I probably should have just left it at that because I didn't realize I repeated myself there. But this really is about her writing her own book. It's called It's All Love, and we are going to read some excerpts from that. And there's a lot of stuff in there that, a young girl to realize, a lot of this stuff it's kind of cool. And we'll get into some of that when we go through these excerpts. action taker Jen, opportunity searcher Jen, sentimental Jen. So she took this opportunity with the second season of Wednesday to become producer, and they wanted her to do Scream 7, but she said no because she felt like I think she's more attracted to the Wednesday 2 because she played that character, and she still wants to be the one to play that character, and she wants to produce the show to make sure it gets done properly. Sentimental Jen, I think because when I read her book, she seems very in tune with her emotions, and she just kind of can, I guess, feel out how like when life throws things at you, she kind of knows what you're supposed to do, and she conveys that in her book. Like she gives, it's like it's a book of advice on how to live life. And so there's a lot of emotion put into it. She talks a lot about being sad and having depression, and we will get into that as well. Non-judgmental Jen, and then that's kind of self-explanatory. Um, and then the twist ending. Has she reached for the stars? She already has. In my opinion, she's already reached for the stars. She doesn't really have to do much more in that sense. So that's the tribute poem. Now we're going to go to this over here. All right. How do I play this PowerPoint? Give me 1 minute. There we go. Okay. So these are going to be excerpts from um, her book. There's four. So meaningful quote number one. They're all from the same chapter because these are the ones I related to the most. So here we go. So the way she formatted this book was that on the left hand side of the page there would be a big quote that kind of summarizes the explanation on the right side of the page. So I'm including kind of both of those to some extent. So this goes, you can't control every situation, but you can control how you react to that situation. And she writes, if you react to difficult circumstances with a negative mindset, you're going to lose control and feel victimized. But if you react with determination and positivity, you can try to fix the situation. And if it can't be fixed, you can let go of what you can't control and move forward. You can't keep people from putting negativity out there, but you can control the energy devoting to it and how it affects your life. So I think this is one of the most critical pieces of advice she gives in her whole book because you can't control other people. Other people are going to do what they're going to do and say what they're going to say and react how they're going to react. And so the only thing we have control over is ourselves, what we say, how we react. And that's something I struggle with a lot. A lot of times I react negatively to what other people do, even though I know deep down I'm the only one who can control myself. Um, and I get stuck and I get victimized because I lose control, and I can't control that situation. It percolates in my head. I got to do something to fix this, but I can't. I can't. So, um, I think this is great advice. Again, the main idea being that we can't control other people, we can't control the universe, but we can control ourselves, how we react to whatever life throws at us. And if we can take it positively, or at least if it can't be fixed, let it go, which is another hard thing to do. I have a very big problem with letting things go. I'm holding on to a grudge to my step grandmother from 3 months ago that I just can't let go of. Then it's easier. There's less negative emotion involved. So this is a very important um, quote. Number two. Criticism is a way to get stronger, better, and smarter unless you make it the reason why you quit. I used to be terrible at receiving criticism, especially when it came to my work. I saw it as an attack on my character and who I was as a person rather than one's personal opinion about my job. So here's another similar quote to number one, because nobody likes to receive criticism. It's hard, especially for the first time. Like let's say you've been doing a great job at work and somebody all of a sudden criticizes you. I can't take criticism in general. Like not, I'm unemployed. Um, if people criticize me or negatively talk about me in any way, it's very hard for me to ignore that. And like for example, um, I don't have the best diet, so I drink a lot of soda. I eat a lot of fast food, and my grandmother, who's a health nut, she only wants to see me be healthy and strive. She's constantly commenting about the way I eat, and instead of looking at that and you know making it a reason for me to change my ways, I just say pretty much "f you." I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing because that's what I like to do, and that's not a good way for me to accept her constructive criticism. So that's something I have to work on. Um, so yeah, another another good quote here. Very very good advice. All right, I'm gonna spend a little time on this one. Creativity is the light that leads you through the dark times. I'm most inspired to write or work when I'm feeling down. During that period in my life when I was feeling depressed and very sad all the time, I just wanted to lie in this black hole I had created for myself. I find that depression is something that you carry for the rest of your life and learn to live with in some form. So, I've said this before in my other videos. So I'm diagnosed borderline personality disorder, major depressive disorder, not generalized anxiety, social phobia, uh, OCD, um, so all that stuff. But I'm just gonna focus on the depression here because that's what's really talked about. So creativity is the light that leads you through dark times, but it depends on what creativity you engage in. So for me, my version of creativity when I'm depressed is to write really dark poetry. But is that really addressing the problem? Sorry, that's a train. Um, writing sad poems all the time, that could be seen as giving into the depression. It's not going to stop me from writing these poems, but you know it. You know what my psychologist said? He said it's, at least you balance it. So write one sad poem and one happy poem. This way you balance out the darkness with light. And I'm going to try to do that. But I agree with her that creativity is certainly the light that leads you through the dark. And personally, I do feel more inspired to write when I am down, those dark poems. But I also need to feel inspired to write when I'm happy, if that ever happens. If that ever happens, we'll see. So now this quote is a very interesting quote. And it goes, I find that depression is something that you carry for the rest of your life and learn to live with in some form. So I thought about this real hard. And at first I agreed with it 100%, but I don't know that I do now. I agree with it probably about 80%, but it depends on how you define the word depression. By the way, I do apologize, Jenna. I know I'm giving you some constructive criticism here. This is the only thing that I'm giving you constructive criticism on, and it's really not that bad. Um, it defines on how you def- it depends on how you define depression, because there's different types of negative emotion. The two types really are sadness and depression, and there's a difference between sadness and depression. So sadness, to what I have experienced, is negative emotion, feeling sad, but it goes away over time. It's not something that sticks around. So there's a breakup, you didn't get the job, somebody died. You're sad for a while, but you're able to get over it. I do believe sadness is something that you carry throughout life in some form, and so my mind goes to, maybe we should replace the word depression with the word sadness. However, are people ever truly happy, or is there a part of someone that always has a little sadness attached? And if that's the case, that means it's actually depression. So if you look at it that way, then the word depression makes sense. So just a couple of different ways to look at that, and think through whether it's, you know, sadness that's more appropriate to put there, because not everybody is sad all the time. But if we all carry a component of sadness that can be activated at any time by something, it's always there somewhere in our soul, even though we don't always show it. That's depression. So anyway, for me, I have major depressive disorder, so depression is like 100% of my life. And right now, I'm going through one of the most catastrophic depressive episodes I've ever gone through. And I'm just hoping to avoid inpatient hospitalization. Um, so it's been real tough. So anyway, I don't want to focus on me. This is about Jenna. So those are my thoughts on this quote. And then the last quote, meaningful quote number 4, is, the future is what you make of it, so dream big. But the point is, there's no disadvantage to dreaming big, and if you deny yourself those dreams, then your life will be smaller. So I guess this is going to be another constructive criticism, but the future is what you make of it. I agree. You should dream big, as big as you can, but you also have to be realistic about what you can obtain. Um, there's no disadvantage to dreaming big, and if you deny yourself those dreams, then your life will be smaller. That's true. That's absolutely true. Um, but sometimes you kind of have to realize, you know what? I got to change what I'm thinking about here. So for me, I've been in and out of grad school 3 times, and I'm dropping out again because I just can't function with this level of depression and borderline. So now I have to reevaluate. My big dream was to be a professional meteorologist. So, do I am I ever going to go back to grad school? I have no idea, because I don't know if this mental illness is ever going to go away. So now I need to reevaluate and come up with, I guess, a new type of dream, um, or just a new plan. Sometimes planning is good too, as well as dreaming. Um, but I do agree with this quote, that you should dream big, but and you can hold on to those dreams even in unrealistic circumstances, because great things can happen. Um, but in the interim, when you can't achieve those big dreams, you have to be realistic. And then when it becomes possible to achieve those big dreams, then you go for it. You don't forget about the dream, you hold it there, and then when it comes and you're able to get it, then you go for it. Okay. So here's closing thoughts. So Jenna is a very beautiful young woman who is so talented at what she does. She always tries to portray her roles as accurately as possible, even if it means improvising a little. Example, Wednesday season 1. She is clearly an incredible hard worker and has a high level of endurance for long, painful film shootings and additionally learning cello and German at the same time. She's so multifaceted and dedicated to making her characters work and come alive, and I absolutely admire her for it. She is wise beyond her years when it comes to emotions and mental health. Example, her book proves that. She has strong determination to stand up for what she thinks is right, and that's very admirable and endearing. And this is an appeal to Jenna herself if she watches this video. Finally, I would, I'm giving up on the idea of meeting these celebrities, so I'm gonna drop the bar to a video chat. Um, Jenna, if you or your team see this video, I would love a 30-minute video chat with you on Skype or Zoom. If possible, leave a comment on this video if you want, and I would very much appreciate that. And same goes for all the other tributes that I wrote. Um, I would love to talk to Olivia Rodrigo for 30 minutes. Um, but my number one celebrity crush is and always will be Jenna Ortega. So, Jenna, I hope you enjoyed this video if you see it, and I wish you all the best in Wednesday season 2.